all right. Y'all ninjas got y'all's wishes, and y'all better watch my reviews. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episodes 1 and 2. So I did enjoy the first episode. I didn't see episode 2, but I did a poll on my Instagram, and the majority of y'all said I should review it. So here I am. Y'all know I'm for the people, and I love y'all. So this is for y'all. I just feel bad because, like, I went back on 2 of my words. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm allowed to change my mind, but I said I wouldn't review Basketball Wives anymore, and I definitely have to now because Evelyn, Jackie, and Jennifer are on the same season together. And then with Salt Lake City, they brought kooky-ass Mary back. Jen is gone, and then y'all said it was a good first episode. So, fine. With that said, let's get into it. Now, see, already, production's on there, Shonda Rhimes. Like, it is dramatic AF. Bermuda, May 10th, 2023. We hear a phone ringing. Heather's like gagged on the phone. Are you kidding me? And we don't even see her in the frame. We see production because they hear her. The cameraman start running to the door, knocking. Production just gives them the go-ahead to just barge into the room. And then Heather pushes them out. How can she do this to us? I'm freaking the out. How did we all fall for it? Fade to black, and then we open to the Salt Lake City landscape before this event happened. Now, wait a minute. Now they have this like little promo that they added in the beginning where all the ladies are saying verses from the Bible, allegedly. You know, I don't know. This is so dramatic. So we're going from cast member to cast member as we're getting glimpses of the season. Here we go with the arguing and the tears. I cannot wait for this moment where Meredith's like, you can leave. Okay, so finally we get to the opening of the episode. This is Salt Lake City, 4 months earlier before Bermuda. So we start with the alpha of this franchise. Well, I guess the new alpha, Lisa, doing what she does best, not parenting, but being the queen of Sundance and organizing events. So Lisa's finished with her day, her husband's picking her up, and she is talking his head off. He does not even get a word in. And she doesn't even realize it. The look on her husband's face. And they've been together for like 20 years, so I'm guessing he's just used to it. She goes from 0 to 100 in seconds, like going from her day to checking her phone, then to crying about her son to her husband. Like, she has not asked her husband, how was your day? He probably hasn't heard that phrase in years. So the issue with her son is he's having a breakaway moment from his parents. He's going away for 2 years on a mission. I didn't even know people still do that anymore. I mean, what is it actually? Like, you have these white Christians going to other places, letting them know the word of God? I mean, hey, correct me in the comments. Lisa seems devastated because she wanted him to go to college. Like, she didn't even know he wanted to do this. Her husband seems pretty chill about it, but Lisa's in shambles. I'm still curious, why does it look like Lisa is the only one in her family that gets sunlight? Next scene, we're with Heather in front of her new house. She lets us know that the money is coming in, and it's not funny like Jen's. She got, that season 4 check, another beauty lab open, and her book, Bad Mormon, made the New York Times bestseller list. So we see her in the front of her house shoveling snow in heels. I'm like, girl, stop putting on for the cameras. With this new season, I just see Heather in a different lens after seeing season 3 and Ultimate Girls Trip. Like, I just feel like she's a little bit more calculating than she leads on. Like, she knows what she's doing. So, yeah, I'm side-eyeing Heather. She's not my favorite anymore. Honestly, I don't think any of these ladies are my favorite, which why I was so hesitant to review this season. The new house is nice though. 7 bedrooms and 6 baths. I hear that. We see her being visited by Meredith Marks, and then Heather asks her, can she help her shovel the snow? Child, fast forward. Heather's giving us more of an update on her life, and she says she's faced a lot of scrutiny because, her best friend was Jen Shaw, and then scrutiny from her book, from the Mormon Church, and then her issue with Whitney, as well as the black eye. Yeah, I agree. All this has me side-eyeing you, Heather. I'm out on your side this season. I'm sorry. So they go inside, they're chatting, and they're talking about her friendship with Whitney. She said she met up with her like a day before, I'm sure when the cameras came up. Other than that, she hasn't spoken to her in months. Now I'm telling y'all, this season, I'm not putting up with it. Anytime Whitney and Heather go at it, it's a fast forward. If it's over their friendship or Whitney's trauma, like no, I'm fast forward. I'm not doing it. Y'all bitches say y'all gonna move forward, then move the fuck forward. So Heather says she's gonna organize the first event of the season to get all the ladies together, like for a fresh start. And then we find out that Meredith has her own beef with Whitney over what she told the New York Post about Meredith taking a bath with her husband, saying the water was dirty or something. So then Meredith proceeds to imitate Whitney talking to the New York Post. Meredith Marks, of all people, imitating somebody. You can't make this up. But Whitney does have a fun voice to imitate. Like she has this voice like this. But then you have Meredith imitating Whitney, cooking dinner and having wine. And that is my impression of Meredith imitating Whitney. Hey, if I'm gonna review this season, I gotta go hard. She's doing a good job though. I think that's what's funny about it. I'm telling you, when these ladies come for Meredith, Meredith comes back at 1,000. She will get her lick back. I honestly think Whitney was just saying it as a joke, but it just didn't land right with Meredith. And Meredith is mad. She took it as Whitney going after her marriage as well as her bathtub. God forbid. And she said the only thing she didn't come for was my kids. So after the commercial break, next scene we're with Meredith at her place of business. And she's being visited by the one and only Mary Cosby. And before we see her walking up, production adds in a bunch of her one-liners. She smelled like hospital. You can go, little girl. And your kids need nutrients. Which I totally forgot about. The only thing they left out was women. Y'all wanted this bigot back and y'all got y'all's wish. So we see that Meredith and Mary have actually established a real friendship outside the other ladies. I think Mary is the closest to her. So Mary's gonna be a friend of this season officially, and they're about to go to lunch together. It's just so weird seeing Mary because I'm like, what is she on? Like, what is going on with this woman? I still don't think it's a good idea to have her on reality television because just something ain't right with her. And I feel like y'all are just laughing at her. So they get to lunch. Mary and Meredith are catching up. We cut to Mary's confessional, and she's giving us an update on her life. She says her son has a girlfriend now, but a lot of people are telling her that's his wife. She says she hasn't asked him, and production is like, well, don't you live in the same house with him? And she's like, she just never had a chance. Okay. She then says Robert Sr., her grand-husband, was in Vegas for 6 months, just chilling, and she didn't have no problem with it. I'm guessing like they just have an arrangement between the two of them. Ooh, and Mary, this wig. It's giving wet dog hair, and I see that she's the same Mary that we knew in season 1 and 2. Mary then asked Meredith about her relationship with Jen, and she said, well, ever since she went to prison, like she hasn't even contacted her. And production asked, well, why? And then she's like, she's in prison. Yeah, but I mean, it seemed like you were, going hard for her. You were still her friend. Now that she's in jail, you don't contact her, just ask how she's doing. You ain't gonna visit her. Mary said it's just karma, and she's just curious how this group is gonna be without Jen, because Jen really had these ladies under her thumb for 3 seasons. I mean, to be fair, Mary never saw it for Jen. And here go Mary being her weird ass self, and Meredith just laughing it off like everything's fine. So next scene, we're with 2 of the new wives as well as Lisa. So Angie K, she got bumped up to friend of, congratulations. I agree with that. And then we have the new girl, Monica, and what they have in common is they were both friends with Jen Shah. Angie K was friends with Jen like for years, and then Monica, I think, used to be Jen's assistant. We cut to Angie K's confessional, and it's interesting. Like, I like what she's wearing, but she looking real ghost-like. Like, the makeup is giving like the puppet from Saw. We cut to Lisa's confessional, and she says she knows Monica through Jen. She met her when she was doing an errand for Jen at the airport, and she says she looks nothing like she did when she first met her. She had blonde hair, fair skin. Okay. It looks like Monica, she's given like white passing Latina a little bit, but that was kind of a little problematic, Lisa. But anyway, she said she looked so unrecognizable, she couldn't pick her out in the lineup. Damn, and we get right to the tea with the new girl. So she says how she knows Jen, like she stepped in for an assistant, and just one night, like Jen told her, do you want to be rich? Do you want to make all this money per year? All you gotta do is sign your name to these documents. She didn't feel right about the situation. Apparently she got a friend in the Secret Service. He told her, get the fuck away from her. She's going to prison. And then 2 months later, that's when Jen got arrested and Monica became a witness in her trial. Oh, all right, Bravo. This is messy. And to think this whole time we thought Meredith was the informant. I'm gonna be honest, that little story of hers had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, we're getting the tea. So as I'm watching this scene, do y'all notice how Lisa and Angie K almost look identical? And it's almost like when Lisa and Meredith were together in the first season, because I was like, how the hell am I gonna be able to tell all these women apart? So I'm sure if you have a scene with Meredith, Lisa, and Angie, it's gonna be like a mind fuck, especially if you're watching High. Like it's gonna be like triplets talking to each other. We're getting to know more about Monica. It turns out she's my age, she's 38. She's in the process of getting a divorce with her husband. They got married, then divorced, married again, and now they're divorcing again. She has 4 kids, like ranging from 5 to 17. Are they all for her husband? And then 4 kids at 38. I wouldn't know what to do with one. She's quite the character. Good cast and production. Ugh, all this talking. Like Lisa knows she know how to suck the air out the room. And speaking of Lisa's talent of sucking the air out the room, we come to Monica's confessional again. She's on a roll this one. She said that when she worked for Jen, like Jen would be tired talking to Lisa because, you know, talking to Lisa, she's talking about herself most likely. She hands the phone to Monica and Lisa's just talking her head off. She says you can put the phone down for 2 hours, come back to it, and Lisa's still talking. That's accurate. Production's in on it too. Like they're going back and forth with Lisa, like continuing to talk about herself. You think 4 seasons in, she would be able to like see the things she needs to work on? But no. The conversation keeps going, and y'all, I'm not really interested in what they're saying, but I am interested in Monica's confessionals because she keeps going. She says it's interesting hearing these ladies talk about how perfect their lives are when apparently she knows their secrets because, you know, they were friends with Jen. I will say it is duplicitous of Monica to be all fake friendly in their face and talking shit behind their backs, but I mean, that's Housewives 101. So next scene, we're at Heather's Fresh Start party, and I appreciate production for working on the pacing. We get right to the group gathering, and we still got a third of the episode left. So most of the ladies are arriving, and we see Whitney do a double take because I guess she didn't know Mary was gonna be there. Now Whitney has my reaction of Mary in the group. Like something is wrong with this woman. Why is she here? And then they're all gonna pretend that there's nothing going on with Mary. Nah, there is something about Mary. You see what I did there? So then we see Lisa arrive with the new girls, and it turns out that Heather didn't invite Angie K purposely. I didn't know they had beef, but she said that Angie K was spreading rumors about her. So production reminds us, and the rumor she said was Heather and Jen were doing Barbie scissor kicks. I guess she was implying lesbonics, and that's how she got the black eye. So it looks like Monica knows Heather, and we cut to Monica's confessional again. Look, she can narrate the season for all I care. She said that Jen never said nothing nice about Heather. And yeah, we know this. They had the most toxic relationship in Housewives history. Like Heather really had some Stockholm syndrome when it came to Jen's shop. So then we see Lisa greeting Mary Cosby, and she's also surprised to see Mary there. She reminds us in her confessional like how her and Mary did not leave off on good terms at all. And she starts reading off text messages that Mary sent her. Like, stuff that Mary would say. Like, you're a liar, you'll kill people, and you remind me of a witch. And then she continues with 5 more insulting texts that Mary sent her. Then we cut to Mary's confessional. I'm guessing she's acting like it never happened. So the party continues, and I thought it was just going to be the main cast and Mary, but it's a whole lot of random people there too. Heather then makes a little speech to everybody saying that her and Whitney are going to try to be on good terms, and this inspired the party where she just wants to have a fresh start after, Jen went to prison. So then we cut to Mary asking Heather how she's doing without Jen. And Mary's like really pressing her because she's saying, well, you knew what you walked into with Jen, and it seemed like you were there for the ride. So how are you feeling now that she's gone? And Heather says, it feels like a weight has been lifted. I guess, girl. So much for you being her ride or die. So then we see Meredith approaching Lisa, and it looks like she wants to move forward as well. She's extending an olive branch to her, saying, let's get together for lunch or something. And it seems sincere, but just compared to last season where she went ham on Lisa to the point she wanted to see her head on a stick. So it's kind of jarring to Lisa seeing Meredith being friendly towards her. But like I said earlier with Whitney and Heather, y'all, I'm not doing it this season. If they're going back and forth, it better be over something brand new, or else it's fast forward. So then later on, I think it's Whitney asking everybody who read Heather's book. And it looks like no one read the book. And we're going from confessional to confessional with all the ladies saying they just didn't have time to read or they don't read. They cut to Mary while she's around all the ladies. She says, ain't nobody read that book. It's her one-liners that's keeping her on this show. We then move on to Whitney, Heather, and Meredith. They're talking amongst each other. Whitney and Heather are being so fake right now, trying to be fake friendly. Heather makes a joke about Whitney doing Special K. She denies this, like she know I don't do that. And then Meredith chimes in, well, you didn't mind when you said I did. So then this is the perfect opportunity for Meredith to call Whitney out on what she said about her and her husband in the bathtub together. I think Heather brought up Special K on purpose because she knew it was going to get a reaction out of Meredith towards Whitney. So as Meredith is calling Whitney out, messy-ass Heather makes her exit. Whitney initially thinks that Meredith is mad at her because of the Special K comment at the last reunion, but when she finds out that she's mad at her about her bathtub comment, she's like, it was a joke. I will say in Meredith's defense that Whitney shouldn't have made a joke about someone she just getting cool with again. But Meredith takes it as Whitney saying that she got a dirty house. We cut to Whitney's confessional and she's saying, I can't call your house dirty because I don't even know what house you live in this year. Ooh, messy production. They show that Meredith has lived in a different house since the season started. She's actually had a different house every year from 2020 to 2023. I didn't even notice that. Whitney says she just assumed that she wrapped everything in plastic so she get her deposit back at the end of the lease. This is the shade I'm talking about. Okay, this is a good first episode. So now they're going back and forth, being nice nasty with each other over something completely stupid. And isn't that why we love Housewives in the first place? Meredith is on a roll right now. She tells Whitney, did I make jokes when you were naked with your husband? Y'all were painting each other? Did I say you could get a bacteria infection in your vagina? The look on Meredith's face, she was so proud of herself after she told that to Whitney. Whitney is trying to wave the white flag now. She's like, look, I'm sorry, but going forward, I need to know that you accept my apology and won't hold a grudge against me. Meredith says she doesn't hold grudges, and girl, I want you to stop lying. Now see, at least Whitney's trying to resolve her issue with Meredith, but Meredith keeps needling her and being an asshole to her on purpose. They both agree that they don't trust each other, but they're just gonna move forward and see what happens. And that's the end of their conversation. So then we get to the final part of Heather's party, which is gonna be a snowball fight. Mary immediately says, oh, I'm not doing that. So then we see all the ladies, they're out having fun, hitting each other with snowballs, and Mary is inside, judging them. Yeah, so the credits are rolling, they're having a fun snowball fight, the end. That was a good first episode, I'll admit. That was what made me consider reviewing it. Let's get on to episode 2. So we're treated to the taglines, and I gotta say, like, collectively, they did a good job. I would say Meredith's is the worst, and I like Heather's a lot. I own a beauty empire, so I don't need your lip service. That was cute. Lisa's was actually cute too, like how I love Lisa and I love that for myself. It was along the lines of that, y'all. I'm not repeating it verbatim. If I had to choose one that was my favorite, I would say it'd be Whitney's. Like, having faith in myself is the only religion I need. That was a good one. Production is really intent on giving us that boring ass skyline every single episode. We start out with the ex-best friends, Lisa and Meredith, meeting each other. Meredith is dressed like the Cookie Monster. I'm not sure like what line of Muppet Couture she's promoting, but I think she was the first housewife to start wearing Muppet Couture. This is just another version of Whitney and Heather trying to rekindle their relationship. It's coming off fake at first. I mean, the ladies are trying to get along with each other. We'll see if it lasts. So after the pleasantries, like, Meredith talks about wanting to move forward in their friendship, blah, blah, blah. Lisa apologizes again for her hot mic moment. It's just the way that Meredith is now coming to Lisa, it just seems a little calculated. Like, where did all this smoke you had for her go since the last reunion? Now you want to be friends with her? So next scene, we're continuing with the ex-best friends theme, and we're with Whitney and Heather now doing a spa activity together. So they're talking about Heather's event she just had, and Whitney's wondering, like, the invite list because she was surprised to see Mary, and she's wondering why wasn't Angie K invited? Like, what's the beef between the two of them? And Heather's saying that she's not feeling Angie K because she was a flip-flopper when it came to her friendship with Jen. I don't know, I feel like they were both equally abused with their friendships with Jen. And by the way, like, is this gonna be all season just mentioning Jen? Like, take a shot every time they mention Jen Shaw this season. So then they're talking about how Lisa was telling certain people in the group about her son doing the mission, and Whitney says she just found out, and Heather didn't even know. And Heather is like kind of surprised because she actually did the mission thing, and they're talking about Mormon shit now, where they had to go on their mission and do death oaths, and thanks to production, they let us know that it's a vow to keep the church's ceremonies secret under penalty of death. This is still going on, I guess. It's given Scientology. We got to Heather's confessional, and she's just calling out Lisa's contradictions since Lisa is allegedly Mormon, but she doesn't do the Mormon activities. She doesn't, abide by the rules that you can't do this, this, and this. And she has a tequila company. So then Heather's point comes full circle when she mentions that her son is doing all this strict Mormonism things while she isn't. And is she aware, like, the type of person he's gonna be after that? And she brings up a good point, I think. But it's a fine line because you're talking about people's kids. And this doesn't work in the realm of housewives. Whitney's hearing Heather out, but I'm like Whitney on this. Like, that's their family, that's their business. And she says in her confessional, just because you wrote a book about this doesn't mean you have a say on what other people are doing when it comes to Mormonism. So next scene, we're with Meredith and her husband. And my finger is on the fast forward button for this one. Oh my God, so they started a podcast together. Like, season 1, they were polar opposites. Like, they were this stale couple. And now, like, after the first season, he did a whole 180. And he's this, like, goofy husband now. Like a goofy sitcom husband. And it's just weird. Because I'm not sure if he's acting or not. So I can't fast forward this scene because it looks like Meredith is organizing the next group trip to Palm Springs, which I love Palm Springs. I've been there, I want to say 2 or 3 times. So she was invited by Trixie Mattel of RuPaul's Drag Race and winner of All-Star Season 3, which we won't even get into that. Justice for Shangela. But, she invited her and all the ladies to come stay at her Trixie Motel. So far, it looks like she's inviting all the ladies, and she's hoping that everyone is on their best behavior. Sure, Jan. So next scene, we're with the new girl, Monica, talking to her mom. We're learning more about her. Turns out she is half Colombian and Portuguese. She moved to Salt Lake City 10 years ago. When she moved to Salt Lake City, her mom came right after her. I'm still trying to get the timeline of the 4 kids. Like, she has 4 kids at 38. I'm still mystified by that. Side note, is it just me, or does Monica give a Housewives of New Jersey vibe? So she's letting her mom know she's going on a girls trip and she's gonna need her assistance with all those kids that she got. So she's going to Palm Springs for 3 days. Her mom is like, I can handle the kids for 2 hours. That is my response to if any of my friends who have kids want me to babysit. Anywho, we get a real moment from her. This is what I was thinking anyway, that like, okay, Monica clearly isn't a housewife that has aspirational wealth. Like, as we think that, most housewives that get on the show should. So she's crying to her mom that just the other day she went to Louis Vuitton to get a bag just so she could have something when she's around the other women. Because she feels like she's not on their level. I'm sure production chose her for a specific reason, not for her wealth, but she makes up for it in other areas. I guess we'll see as the season progresses how she navigates through this. Wow, she's talking about her family. She said the last time she saw her dad was 4 years old, and now all she knows that he is gay. He moved to Florida and has his own life. See, production cast this woman for a reason. Her mom, as well as her daughter, are trying to cheer her up, saying you don't have to compete with these women. I mean, at least she getting her money the legal way. Most new housewives, when they get on here, they feel like they got a stunt in front and the audience sees right through that. Or it's a big deal when we find out the house of cards fall. Hi, Erica Jane. Shit like that happens. So at least she's being real about it. And look, maybe she'll be a fan favorite by the end of the season. So next scene, we're with Whitney and Angie K. They're on a couple's night out with both their husbands. They're having dinner. It's a lot of blah, blah, blah right now. They're just talking about, marriage, something I do not relate to. So they're talking about Heather's gathering again. And Angie feels like she didn't really feel that moving on energy from Heather. And then Whitney's telling her about the upcoming girls trip to Palm Springs, to the Trixie Motel. This is the first time Angie's hearing about it, so she wasn't invited. I was wondering, what is Meredith's beef with Angie? But then I forgot that Meredith is now besties with Heather, so that's probably why. Oh, so messy Whitney, who just got into it with Meredith recently and trying to move forward with her, decides to invite Angie K anyway as her +1. Well, that's going to work out well. So next scene, we're with Heather as she invited Monica to go shopping with her. She wants to just get to know her better. So Heather's trying to figure out from Monica her connection to some of the ladies in the group. She says she met Lisa through Angie K, and she met Angie K through Gent. Heather then chimes in that she's known Angie K since high school, but they were never close. So this is a little messy on Heather's part. She's telling Angie K's friend Monica that she does not like her, and Meredith isn't inviting her purposely to Palm Springs. Now, Monica, if she's a good housewife, and I think she is, she will go back and tell Angie K what Heather said. All right, so we learned some more about Monica, and I can understand why she was added to this franchise and not really in the same wealth category as the other ladies. So Heather asks her, is she Mormon? She says, kind of. She goes into the story that she was raised Mormon because her mom converted. She was married in the church, but then she was excommunicated because she was fucking her brother-in-law for 8 months. Heather is gagged, as am I. Oh, and it gets juicier. Not only is it her brother-in-law, it was her husband's sister's husband. So then she comes out with the infidelity to her bishop. She's excommunicated, but her brother-in-law is not, because patriarchy, I'm guessing. I'm sorry, with this type of story, we need a timeline. I want to know, when did she get to Salt Lake City? When did she marry her husband? When did she have her kids? When did the divorce happen? The affair, and then y'all got married again? Something not adding up. Is this her second husband? Side note, whoever casted Monica, they need a serious raise because she's the most interesting cast member on this show, and it's only been 2 episodes. 2. Wow, the more I hear about Mormonism, it just sounds like a misogynist, racist cult. So next scene is the day of the Palm Springs trip. We see the ladies arriving at the airport. Mary is the first to arrive, looking like an escaped mental patient with baggage. The only one missing is Lisa now. And side note, earlier when Monica was saying she bought the new Louis bag, production made sure to zoom in on it as, Monica brought attention to it. It's a nice bag though. Oh, so actually Whitney is the only one that's not there because she told Meredith that she's taking a separate flight to Palm Springs. What the other ladies don't know is that she brought Angie K with her. Oh, not they traveled Southwest. Really? Interesting. I mean, no judgment. I fly Southwest too. I just didn't expect them to be flying Southwest. Fast forward, we're in Palm Springs and we see Angie K and Whitney arriving to the Trixie Motel first. What Whitney's doing is so messy. Like, Meredith already don't trust her. Like, she just got into it with her. She knows Heather, who she's trying to develop a friendship with again, doesn't like Angie K, and she's doing it anyway. But you know what? I'll allow it. Meanwhile, we're with the other ladies as they just arrived, but some drama happened. Lisa lost one of her very expensive rings, allegedly, that she's got from her husband in the bathroom. According to Heather, she came out with her pants half down, like completely unhinged, looking for her ring. We go through the other ladies' confessionals, and basically they're all saying that that ring is gone. She's not seen it again. Oh wait, and Mary, she's like, I don't think that ring was worth $60,000. I just need Monica and Mary to narrate the season at this point. What a way to start off the trip. And then they still don't know that Angie K came uninvited. Again, I also want to shout out production for the pacing. We have a girls group trip in the second episode. Good job. Like, they're doing everything right so far. I'm on board for this season so far. So they're all finally out of the airport and they're headed to the property. On the car ride though, Lisa of course just keeps talking about it, and then Mary, who has zero social cues, says, well, at some point you're gonna have to get over it. So meanwhile, we're back with Angie and Whitney says in her confessional she knows full well what she's doing, how it's gonna piss people off, and I appreciate her self-awareness. I hope she's ready for the consequences. We're back on the bus with the other ladies, and they're asking about Whitney and her plans, and all she did was send Meredith a text message. Didn't even say that she was there yet, that she's at the hotel, and most importantly, that she brought a guest. While production is really milking this scene, we're still waiting for the other ladies to arrive to the motel. Like, we're going back and forth. Like, please, can we get to the reaction? Lord, here we go. We got the dramatic music as the rest of the ladies are pulling up to the motel. Bitch, not the credits start rolling as the ladies get out the van. They're opening the door, and that is where the episode ends. Like, we see Whitney seeing them arrive. Ugh, okay, this was good. All right, I'm in, y'all. This was a good first 2 episodes. I enjoyed it. Mary's addition works. Monica being added to it, it works. I'm here for it, y'all. But you know what? We'll see if I have the same thing to say when we're at episode 8. Okay? But yeah, I'd love to know what y'all thought of episodes 1 and 2. And are y'all in for this season? Do y'all have high hopes? Anyway, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.